I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psychacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the subject of today's short talk is safe, smart, brave, strong. Many of you might not know this, but in my spare time, I'm an avid outdoorsman. I do a lot of long-distance backpacking and mountain climbing. And I often do these trips solo, which can increase the inherent risk factor of these activities somewhat. Now, I've been doing this for a very long time now, and I've developed this personal motto or mantra, which is the title of this episode, Safe, Smart, Brave, Strong. And this is basically how I approach moving into the wilderness independently. And I want to explain what this means because I think that it can be generalizable to a lot of other aspects of our lives. Basically, there's an order to this progression, safe, smart, brave, strong. Because if you're safe, you don't really have to be smart. I mean, think about it. Think about those birds that lived on isolated islands in the Pacific for hundreds or thousands of years without any natural predators. When humans first showed up, they could just walk up to these birds, bonk them on the head, and throw them in their ships. They were so safe for so long that they completely lost all forms of caution and cleverness. And this was obviously to their detriment. On some level, we see this in Western society today. Thousands and thousands of people die every year from an abundance of safety. That is, there often doesn't seem to be any immediate negative consequences to making certain bad decisions. So, for example, they eat or drink themselves to death or die in ways that would have been preventable with just a little prudence. Quite the paradox that. Too much safety can be dangerous, but that's how it is. Now, if you're not safe, and moving into the wilderness is an inherently risky venture, if you're not safe, you have to be smart. Being smart, using your intelligence and good judgment can help you to avoid a lot of unjustified dangers. And ultimately, it's much, much better to prevent a disastrous situation than to try to survive it. Now, that said, sometimes you're not always going to be smart. Sometimes you're going to zig when you should have zagged. And if you're not safe and you haven't made smart decisions, then you're going to have to be brave. You'll need to muster courage in order to face the danger forthrightly and pass through the difficult moment without succumbing to fear or despair. Do you understand? It's better to avoid the avoidable danger, but if you can't because of your decisions, you have to be brave. However, if you aren't safe, you weren't smart, and you couldn't be brave because you're afraid, then you have to be strong. It's the only option left. Being strong means, metaphorically, that you hold on as tightly as you can, that you put all of your will into your hand, and you refuse to let go no matter what. That's what being strong means. It means being able to endure, to persevere, to survive, no matter what. You make your will into iron and you refuse to surrender. It's not a very pleasant place to live, and you don't want to stay there any longer than you need to, but that's really our last option. If we aren't safe, we weren't smart, and we couldn't be brave. Now, I bring this up because you'll notice you don't lead with strength. Strength is what you need when smartness and bravery fail. So it's a good idea to develop your strength, of course. No one has ever wanted to be weaker. But it's a much better idea to develop your intelligence, your cleverness and discernment, and your courage and bravery. Because if you develop those virtues sufficiently, you don't have to be as strong. You don't have to be in survival mode all the time, just enduring life. And you get to have a lot more fun to boot. So that's all I have to say on the matter. If you'd like to suggest a topic for a future episode or to schedule a consultation, you can reach me at psychackspodcast@gmail.com. Until next time.